I am so excited today to talk to business coach Jill Fitzgibbon, who is helping businesses to really just get ready for success, but also get ready to prepare themselves for when, life is difficult, to make sure that they have everything in place for success and to handle any challenges that, let's face it, like business and life throws you all of the time. So, Jill, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. I'm delighted to have you here with me at lunchtime this Thursday.
Thanks very much for inviting me, Elaine. I'm looking forward to our chat. I think it should be quite interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, let's just jump straight in. Tell me, why this? Why did you create your business?
Because I became an entrepreneur myself in 2002, and I found that I've come across a lot of people in the coaching space who are very good coaches, but they don't know how to run a business. And there's no reason why they should know how to run a business, because most of them have probably been employed and they get their paycheck at the end of the month, and they don't really have to worry about all the things that go into creating, a solid business and putting their foundations in place. And unfortunately, in the UK, I think it's about 80% of new businesses fail in the first 2 years. And it's all because the setup is wrong and they haven't thought about the setup. So if I ask a new coach or a new soon to be qualified coach or a small business, do you view yourself as a CEO of your own company? They usually go, no. They don't view themselves as a business owner. They view themselves as a coach or an IT person or whatever. So I thought it was a good way to help people set up their business.
Yeah. And was this your first entrepreneurial venture?
No. So in 2002, I left a very high paying job in the City of London and set up an international conference company. And it was very niche. I found a niche, an area, which was, we found that there was certain things that other companies weren't covering, big publishing houses. And it's all in metals and mining, so metals and minerals. And over the years, we've had so many things happen, including COVID. So you can imagine, conference business in COVID was just a disaster. But we're still here. And we had a fantastic event last week with nearly 300 people.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that was good. Yeah, so that was my first start, was 2002.
Wow, that's amazing. And tell me, why? What was your reason to leave that job behind and just go for it? Why did you go, no, this is something I've got to do?
Well, the honest truth is, I started my first business when I was 12. I had a babysitting agency in Ireland where we used to go on our summer holidays. And I used to get, people used to ask me to babysit for them, and I couldn't do them all. So I used to get my friends and I'd take a pound commission or something. So it was always a bit of a joke in our house. Oh, Jill, the entrepreneur. And my dad used to always say to me, that girl is not going to hang about working for somebody else. So I suppose I just went and I used to be a delegate of events myself, of these particular conferences. And I just thought they were run really badly. And I thought, you know what, I could do this better. So I teamed up with a mate and we thought, you know what, we can definitely do this better. And we've been proved right. So we're a 2-person company and we're up against publishing houses of thousands of people, and we still manage to stay in our space.
Oh, that is wonderful. Oh my goodness. I babysat, but I never ran a babysitting agency. That is something else, I tell you. That is brilliant. Oh, I love it. Gosh, so it must have felt amazing last week to be back in the room with people. Was it like a different energy?
Oh God, totally. And the thing about it was, because we've always stayed faithful to our current customers, and we helped them through COVID. So what we did was, because we have customers all over the world, from New Zealand to Greenland. I mean, we covered the whole globe really. And because of that, we decided to keep in contact. A lot of companies just said, oh, well, what can you do? But we ran free webinars and things for our customers. And they were really, really grateful. So we would do them really early in the morning, 5 o'clock for the Australian market and Japan and China. And then we'd run them at lunchtime for Europe and Europe and America. And the amount of emails I've had this week from people saying, you've kept the whole family together, and we're just so thrilled to have been back with you all in the room. And as I said, I think I mentioned we picked up 80 new customers from this event we ran. So that for us is just unbelievable. And they've all come and commented and said, we've never been to your event before, it's brilliant, blah. So it's great.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And so, do you serve different kinds of clients? Like, who do you help the most?
On the coaching side, I've mainly helped coaches, new coaches, soon to be qualified coaches, and I do help small business owners. I've helped somebody in the last few months set up her own her graphic design company. And the reason I suppose the reason I picked on coaches is because I see so many of them struggling. I can see it on their content on LinkedIn or on Facebook. And I think a lot of them think it's just easy or just post, but they're not building relationships. They're not actually building relationships. Like I've built a relationship with you, for example, on LinkedIn. We've sort of built a relationship, and you've asked me on here, and I've been asked to speak at an event in America, live retreat next April for a coaching community who picked up some of my posts. So I think the problem is I try to help people with their actual content, not content in that sense, but being consistent and understanding you need some sort of a theme. But really, I help them with their mission statement to get clear on who they're helping so that those people know what they can help them with. So what results, so who they are, what they help people with, and what result they get.
Yeah, gosh. And why? Tell me, what is it that makes you just enjoy working with them?
I think it's because, imagine I learned tennis a long time ago, and I know I had the grip was wrong and it was rubbish. And I went to relearn tennis. I found it really difficult because the guy was saying, no, hold the racket this way. And I feel like that with new people, new businesses, it's a blank canvas. So you're not trying to unlearn things and say to them, that's not right, that's not wrong. Don't do it that way. Whereas if you're starting with a fresh canvas, they don't know the wrong way to do it. So you're not having to untangle everything and start again. It's really nice to be able to sit them down at the beginning and say, right, what's the vision for your business? What do you think you want? Where do you want to be in 3 or 5 years' time? How are you going to cope if you run up against obstacles? And that's why I like it, because you're not unlearning anything. You're starting fresh, and you can help them from the beginning to get it right.
That is brilliant. Because honestly, Jill, so many people I know are like, oh God, don't work with anybody who's starting out, they're, whereas the passion for this client really comes across from you. Is there any particular story that just led you to them?
Yeah, I was actually working with another coach, and she came to me and she said, I just think I'm ever going to make it. And there was just advice. She just said to me, because we knew each other through a group. And she said, I have no clue how to start a business, and I know I'm never going to be able to do it. And I just thought, well, actually, there must be other people like that. There must be other people who feel like that, but that it's actually quite daunting to start your own business. I know everybody talks about overwhelm and everything, but I think, and then she said to me, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do the other? And I suddenly realized she was literally doing that shiny object thing. She was running after signing up for things that cost her a fortune that she didn't need to sign up for. And I just thought there must be loads of coaches like this. So that's why, because I just felt, and she now is very successful. But you start off at the beginning and you think, oh, I have to have a website. Oh, I have to buy all the expensive, systems. You don't. And I think that's the problem. If you take away those thoughts and sit down and think logically, I have never paid for an ad in my life. I've never paid for an ad on Facebook. I've used all the free tools at the beginning. And it's only now that I'm sort of suspending some money on things that help me with my business to streamline it a bit more.
Oh, that is, honestly, you're a woman after my own heart. You know, you can, like, you can, I think if you get the foundation right, then, you know, everything just builds from there, doesn't it? You know,
Yeah, absolutely. And also things like, a website, great, have a website. But I actually just helped a client a couple of weeks ago. I said, you can build a one-page website on Canva. She didn't even know that. I said, just go into Canva, build a one-pager with all your things you want to say for now, and you can direct people to that, because you don't need to spend a load of money hosting and designing a flashy website. I mean, I have a website and I never advertise it because actually nobody ever really comes into it. So
yeah.
it's just, I got it for free. That's why I did it. I wouldn't have paid for it otherwise.
I love it. And I think, like, a lot of people kind of, well, two things. They, on the one hand, think they do their website and they think that's it. That's my marketing job done. They don't realize it's like building a shop and then, like, in the middle of nowhere, and not having any, like, through traffic to come in, you know. And the other thing I believe is that people can sometimes hide behind these jobs, like doing their website, and then you still have to get out there and, you know, talk to people and pick up the phone and, you know, like, convince somebody that you can help them, you know. So
yeah, and I think it's a fear. It's a fear, and it's also, it is procrastination. The first time you go out there, and I know when I go on a call with somebody, and there's always that thing. People say, well, what happens if they say no? I said, well, then they say no. But for every no, you're going to 10 no's, you'll get a yes. You shouldn't let that deter you, because I had somebody last year who came to me and said they couldn't afford coaching, or they weren't ready for coaching. They'd just come back to me out of the blue and said, I'm ready. Now, I kept in touch with that person. I put them on my newsletter. I every so often would send them an email or a Facebook message, how are you going? How are you doing? Has anything improved and for you? And no pushy sales, but that's what I'm saying. You need to build connections, and that could be just saying, hi, how are you doing? Once a month, just checking in, how's it going? And I think that is, as you say, a lot of people, Elaine, hide behind their website. And as you say, they just think, I would think it's like walking down a boarded up old street that nobody shops on anymore, because there's nothing there to attract them. It's like putting the same, if you go to your favorite shoe shop and they never change the window, it's not going to entice you to go back in. Is it, oh, they've got something new to tell me? Whereas if somebody's just got a homepage on a website, same thing, I'm not going to bother looking if it's the same old thing I see every time I walk past.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I just couldn't agree with you more. So, well, you've told me a little bit, but tell me more about, like, when someone starts to work with you, like, is there one thing they say, oh my God, I can't believe this has happened? Or, what happens? Like, if someone has never worked with you before, tell them what your clients say happens.
Well, most of them say that they have so much more focus because they actually can see an end to starting the business. So rather than just looking at what am I going to offer people, what's my charge, they realize that by being focused and starting, what I basically do is take a business plan and rip it apart. So I get them to look at the vision, their mission statement, who they want to help. And I also make it clear to people that just because, a niche is important, but you don't have to niche forever in the same area. You can evolve. I think that's the other thing. People think, oh, I've got to pick, what am I? I mean, I started off with business for women only. And I started off thinking I would just do small businesses, and then I changed to coaches, and I do everybody. It doesn't matter, it has to be male, female. And I think when people come to me, they realize that they have been chasing too many things that are not going to help their business. So I've just said a very nice testimonial from somebody now, and saying, I finished working with her a couple of weeks ago. So I think it's that focus and that understanding that it doesn't have to be a mountain to climb to start a business. That if you put the right steps in place, they realize that actually it's not that hard.
Yeah, it's so true. So what do you think is the common issue for them then? Like, is it the shiny objects thing?
I think it's that, and they think that if they just post 3 times a week and not build up any connections or or relationships with people, that people will just suddenly come and say, "I want to work with you." It's got to be a bit more streamlined than that. I tell you, the one thing I do now do with people, and I show them how to do webinars, because webinars I think are great. And if somebody comes to work with me, they can actually, if they've already got a business going, but they're not really getting anywhere, I can help them build up webinars where so their first one, they might get, 20 people register, maybe 4 turn up, because, it's normally a quarter. One of my ladies ran her first one. She got, I think she's 12 registered something, 4 turned up, but of those 4, 3 booked a call with her.
Brilliant.
And I think that is a really good medium for people, because it shows you your personality, you can chat to people, and it doesn't have to be formal. You don't have loads of slides, but it's how you set it up, how you do the follow-up, the calls, how you set everything up. And that has definitely helped. It helped my business. That's how I got business in the first place, was doing webinars. I learned how to do them.
And I think I agree with you. And I think from let's say my side, your side, your client side, the beauty of a webinar is if someone has sat through the webinar live with you and watched the whole thing, then when you get them on a call, they're serious, because otherwise having your calendar open the whole time, I personally just feel it just welcomes tire kickers. Whereas on a webinar, I just really think they're so qualified. The people that talk to you, they are serious about getting the issue sorted, really, aren't they?
Absolutely. And the other thing I do is, this year I've run it 3 times, is a social media workshop. So I have a call actually tomorrow with a girl who's contacted me, because she said, "I'm new to coaching and I'm really new to social media," and she's very confused. How do I do it? What do I do? Where do I post? When do I post? So I'm going to talk to her tomorrow. We're going to have a call tomorrow about it. And I've also got another lady who, again, is very confused about what she wants to do with what side of the coaching business she should go into. So, but they both were through building connections again, and I invited them to a couple of things, and they couldn't make it. So they said, but they'd like to come and talk to me. So again, it's that thing of not just thinking your website front page is going to get you business, or, as I said, posting 3 times a week. And then people say to me, "I'm not getting any business." And I'm going, well, I wouldn't be able to find you in a crowd, because there's nothing you're telling me or showing me that's going to make you stand out.
Yeah, exactly, Jill. So true. So come here, what part of your business do you absolutely love? Like, what's your favorite part?
I love I just genuinely like helping people. I just think I like to see people succeed, and I just want to make people feel comfortable. So I like when people feel comfortable about what they're doing, and I do push them out of their comfort zone, but I like people to suddenly think, actually, do you know what? The thought of a webinar or the thought of doing a live video isn't that bad. And it's that transformation I like. It's that thing of where they come to me all in a dither, don't know what to do, not sure how to start the business, to suddenly thinking, oh my God, I've just done my first webinar, and I'm going to do that every month between now and Christmas or whatever. So, or every 2 weeks. So I just like that feeling that when they get comfortable in their own skin about their business and about their offer and how they help people. And that's what I really like.
Oh, so good. So tell me, what don't you like? What do you outsource?
What do you outsource? So I don't. Well, I'm going to start outsourcing some of my accounts and things like that, because I don't really have time to do that. I don't really want to outsource my content, because I think you have to be the one writing that content. But the scheduling and the themes, I did start. I've actually just decided I've got a girl who's going to do that for me, because I can do it. But then I was away last week, and although I had some stuff scheduled, it didn't fit with what I wanted to do. So I'd rather go away. But then people said to me, "Where were you? You haven't seen me for a week." So, which is good, because people noticed I wasn't there. So yeah, that's something I need to work on for next year, is really get that themes each time I want to do a theme, that I can give the ideas and then she'll do it for me.
Yeah, great idea. Okay, so for new business, like let's say, I don't know, somebody who's like thinking about going into business,
Yeah.
you know, is there anything you learned over the years? Almost like you would tell yourself as you start up again, okay, this is the thing. Like, this is my piece of advice for you.
Okay. Well, my first piece of advice is you've got to be absolutely committed to the business. You've got to really want to do it, because if you're going to do what I did and take a leap of faith in yourself and leave a very good paying job to zero, not having any income coming in initially, you've got to be committed, and you've also got to believe in yourself and your business idea, whether you're a coach or you're a small business owner. And if you're a bit wishy-washy, I've got an idea, I'm not sure if it's going to work, go out and do some market research, speak to people. You know, go out to people and say, look, I'm a blah, I'm thinking of doing this, what do you think? And I'm not sure, you know, are there not a lot of people around doing the same thing as you? What's your USP? And as I said to you in the beginning, in the conference bit, there was a niche. We found a market that nobody was doing, and now it's the biggest market probably for green technologies, and was actually featured, the metals were featured on the radio here in the UK last week. So knowing that you've got something solid. Also, I think I thought I needed a lot more money to start the company than we did. And just knowing your budget and knowing, you know, how long can you survive without a salary? You know, that's important.
Yeah.
And I think my other piece of advice would be to don't get put off by people who don't understand what you're trying to do. So sometimes people will say, oh my God, you're mad. Like my family, what the hell are you doing? Giving up that amazing job and all its perks. And I went, well, because I really believe I can do this. I can do this. And I didn't know if I told you this, but in 2013, after the financial crisis, after the ice cloud and everything, you know, there was times I thought, God, what am I doing? I think this is mad. You know, I'm never going to make a success of this business. But I mean, it was successful, but not the sort of level. And then out of the blue, we did really, really well, and we applied and we won the Queen's Award for International Trade and Enterprise, which a two-person company had never won it before.
Wow.
So, you know, if you believe in yourself and believe in your idea, and really, and I just think, I keep saying this, make sure you have the solid foundations there to set it up. Like, we knew what we wanted to do. We found a niche in the market. You know, I think that's the thing, is just to believe in yourself, have the confidence you want to do it. Make sure you have the budget though to keep you going. You know, make sure that you're not going to find yourself in a year's time going, oh my God, I have to go back to work. And so you're spending too much money. Don't spend money at the beginning. Do everything you can. Call on friends, ask people to help you. You know, I did a swap with a friend for wine from our website. You know, just do things like that.
Yeah. Oh, great advice. Great advice. I think I might know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What is your favorite social media platform?
LinkedIn.
I knew it.
And I do like Facebook to a degree as well, but I find Facebook's got very salesy and pushy, and oh my God, I must get about 20 code messages a day from VAs, and it's the same message, they cut and paste. You know, I prefer LinkedIn, it's more professional.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it too.
Yeah.
And I know, I was going to say, do you use it to promote your business? But I know you do, Jill. I know you do. But so I'll come to my next question. What gadget or tech do you use that saves you time, if anything? Is there anything that you use that saves
Trello boards?
Yeah.
They're fantastic. So before, I would sort of, when I started my business coaching business, I'd be there and taking notes of the person, writing up their action steps for next week, blah blah blah, you know, and all that sort of stuff, and then I'd have to put it into a document. Now I've got a Trello board, I share it with them. And if you're not familiar with Trello, you are probably, but if other people aren't, it's a fantastic medium, because what you do is you put your person in that you're coaching, for example, and then you have session one, what action steps they're going to take, and then they move the cards. You know that they're doing the actions because they move the cards from doing to done or whatever. So you can go back and give them a little nudge if you're not going to see them next week and have them say, oh, I just noticed there's no action there on the Trello board. And often they'll come back and, I knew you'd see that, because you can see them doing it. And I think it's fantastic because it keeps your clients accountable. And it's a really good time-saving thing for me.
That is brilliant. I adore Trello as well. I came late to the play, but I use it differently. I use it when I'm helping clients with their content, actually. So I use it when I'm teaching people all about marketing strategy. But again, it's so good. It's just so handy, and there's just so many templates, isn't there? And
it's fantastic. And also another thing for you new people, it's free for the first 10. It's free for the first 10 people. If you have 10 clients, you can use it for free. It's only when you go over that you have to pay and upgrade. So again, another tool that you don't have to pay for. Like, don't go out and pay thousands of pounds for Kajabi and all these things. You don't need them at the beginning.
Yeah, so true, so true. Honestly, so true. And yeah, like you say, it's just so good because so much can get lost in email, and especially a lot of people these days use Gmail because it's so easy on their phone, but then it's so hard to stay on top of that. So Trello, honestly, I couldn't agree with you more. I adore it.
And also you can put, Elaine, you can put times in and dates, right? So they get a nudge, because it says, you told me you were going to do that by Monday at 4 o'clock. Then I put in Monday at 4 o'clock. And then I hope to see by 5 o'clock on Monday or 6 o'clock, that card has moved, right? I feel like my poor clients think I stalk them, but it's great. It is really good to keep them accountable.
Honestly, we're so similar. I do my stalking on social media. Like, my clients are like, oh God, do you like my post? I hope my cat is good enough.
I know, funny.
I'm like, different format. That format works better. If you use a portrait on Instagram, it looks better. But anyway, stop. So funny. So listen, what would you tell yourself if you could go back to the beginning? Like, would you do anything differently?
Yeah, well, for the coaching business, I think I signed up to so many free things. Oh my God, it was just ridiculous. I had my phone pinging, you're on Zoom and now you're doing this, you're that. And there was too much information and none of it stuck. So I then last November realized a year ago that I needed to change something. So I invested in a coaching course for myself, as in with somebody helping me with workshops and things like that. And within, I don't know, 2 months, it made a huge difference to my business, because it was one thing, and I decided I'm just going to focus on one thing. And I think free content is great, and I do free content, but if you're signing up to every thing that's on there, I think you're going to confuse yourself, because one person will tell you to do this thing, one person will tell you to buy ads, somebody else will tell you to post this sort of content. And I think you end up, as I said, my clients come to me often in a complete dither because they have no clue where to start. And it's that focus, there's no focus. So I would tell myself not to have signed up to any of those things until I have my head fixed about what I want to do on the coaching side, and then pick one thing that I knew would work for my business.
Yeah, that's great advice. I think these days, like you say, that the world is so accessible, but sometimes then you end up listening to too many voices. And actually, sometimes you've just got to go in there and brutally unsubscribe, don't you? Yeah. And go, oh, look, you're lovely, and I really like what you do, but you're not right for me. And
I don't have the time.
Yeah. So.
And it's like Facebook groups. Somebody wants to join. I have a small Facebook group. I don't do a lot in it. I admit it. I should do more, and I will do more, but I don't do a lot in it. But somebody asked to join my group, and they're a member of 300 and something groups. I'm like, God, how could you? Your phone must be constantly, on alert, notifications. I'm a member of like 7 groups, and I'm going to put it down to probably 3 now, because if you go into a group, the way to do it, I think, is go in and look. If there's nobody commenting or doing anything, then just leave it, because again, it's another thing that's going to confuse you. and tell you, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, and then they're signing up to everything. So yeah, I think that's just the way I view it. You know, there's too much stuff out there.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like I think, you know, like you say, I've unsubscribed from a lot of groups because what I find is that, especially free groups, they're just there for people to post their stuff, but then no one's really engaging with it.
No, there's no engagement.
What's the point of that? But also another thing that I don't think people talk about, which is what I love about what you talk about, is that it depends on your stage of business, you know, what your plan is. Because like you just said, you can do so much for free when you start out because you have more time, have less clients. And so you need to be able to do stuff yourself as much as you can do. And you don't need fancy stuff, you know? Like, you need to you need to make the calls and make the sales. And then when you get the business to the next level, then fine, think about what your next step is going to be. I just don't think there's enough people out there actually addressing that, you know. Is there is there a bugbear that you have? Is there something that you see other people saying and you're like, no, God, that is just not my point of view, you know? That's
I think telling people that they can become a 7-figure coach in 90 days. Good luck with that one.
Trust me, it's bonkers.
Yeah, it's just hype. And then, you know, I that's the other thing. You see on these groups, yes, please, I'm interested. And if you just pick out 3 people, you'll see they say the same thing. Okay, I'm not saying work with me and pay me, but I'm saying definitely pay somebody because you're going to save yourself a lot of heartache, whether it's working with you, Elaine, or working with anybody else. The point is, I'm sorry, the money I invested last year, I've earned it back 3 times. And I know if I hadn't invested that money, I'd never have earned it back.
Yeah, so true. So true.
If you want to be a 7-figure coach in 90 days, off you go. You're not going to get great, you know, how are you going to? And the other thing is, I'm not being ageist, but there was a guy on the other day, he said, I'm 18, I've decided I'm going to be a life coach. Can people tell me how I can find clients? So I just said, I took a deep breath. Actually, it was quite good being away last week because I wasn't on social media at all. So it just taught me, I actually don't even want to read half these things. So I'm just going to stick with LinkedIn, I think, now.
Oh, so true. No. Yeah, I mean, obviously he can share his perspective from his age, but
absolutely,
like goodness, in terms of life experience, you know, I think you need to choose clients who you can reach down to and pull up, don't you? No,
absolutely. So, yeah. And I mean, I have no problem being 18, but asking me how to get clients, well, you've got to work that out yourself. You know, you've got to figure it out, or you pay somebody to help you how you get clients. I'm not going to tell you for free. Excuse me.
No.
Just make it
Sign up, and I will tell you. That's
exactly.
You know. That is amazing. And tell me, so what's the dream for you in the next year?
On my other business, keep going up, which is we've got some more exciting things happening in that. So we've actually added, we've added 2 new services we're adding 2 new services to that business, because I think you always have to be creating new things for people. You can't just stand still, because then your business will fail. And so you've got to add value for everybody. And for me in my coaching business, I do one-to-one, but I'm just starting a new program next year, which is your business roadmap, how to launch and scale. And that's going to be for 10 people maximum. Even if I only get 3 or 4, that's good. I don't mind, because I want to be able to help people get that business plan in place with all the things they need to do, so they feel comfortable about going to the next level and actually launching their business, and they feel they know what they're doing, which is most important, rather than, you know, doing the doggy paddle and thinking, where am I going? I don't know what to do next. So having that all in place, and So I would like to do, I'd probably offer only 4 6-week group programs next year, and that would ideally, for me, that's what I'd love to be doing.
Brilliant, brilliant. And yes, after this, how can people work with you? So how can they get in touch with you?
Well, you can get in touch with me on my email there, jill@lifeforcecoach.com. I'm also on LinkedIn under Jill Fitzgibbon, good old Irish name. And also, I will put a link. I'm going to create the page for the group program, and I'll put a link to that on the video. I'd send that to you, Elaine.
Yeah.
And they can that way. But LinkedIn here is probably the easiest way, just Jill Fitzgibbon. So that's my handle.
Perfect. I'm going to share that link with this video over the coming days as it becomes available, because lucky people they would be to work with you and to launch their business. What an amazing start to 2023 that would be, you know. And then once you're going, like you're going, you know, like it would be great. So to hell with 7 figures, like you've got to start at zero and add and add and add, you know. That's what you've got to do, isn't it? And
absolutely. And you know, some people will all become 7 figures, but they'll have massive people working with them behind them. If you want to be yourself and stay, you know, enjoy it and not be running around. I mean, that's the other thing. I like to enjoy my business. I don't want to be so stressed that I can't enjoy my life. And that's the other reason I work for myself, because I like to be able to take a day off if I want to.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
We're the same. It's the Irish in us. We're very hard workers, but we do like our play and crack as well.
So important, so important. And actually in Ireland, we've got Halloween coming up on Monday. So
yeah,
I can't wait just to have that like that holiday on Monday. And yes, we probably should have a holiday on the Tuesday to get over all the sugar buzz from the.
That's what I say on the Monday, yeah.
But it was so lovely to talk to you. Stay with me, Jill. I'm going to wrap up here and thank you for watching. As I say, I will be in touch with the link for Jill's upcoming amazing group program. But thank you so much for spending time with us this lunch, and I look forward to seeing you next Thursday at the same time, 1 o'clock. Stay here with me, Jill, as I end our video.